Good day, dear children. We are continuing with Tempest, Act 1, Scene 2. Act 1, Scene 2. We finished Prospero telling the story of how he came to his island, to this island. Prospero said the story to Miranda. And that is over. That story is over. Ariel comes in. As soon as Ariel comes in, Prospero puts on his magic garment and makes Miranda sleep again, charms Miranda into sleeping. And you have the conversation between Ariel and Prospero. Enter Ariel. I'll tell you on which page it is. Page 18. Page 18. Enter Ariel. Ariel, all hail great master. Ariel is greeting Prospero, affirming the fact that Prospero is a great master. All hail great master, grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, to swim, to dive into the fire. To ride on the curled clouds to thy strong bidding task, Ariel and all his quality. Now here all the qualities of Ariel is being mentioned. All the qualities of Ariel are being mentioned here. He can fly, he can swim, he can dive into the fire, he can ride into the curled clouds. All these qualities are being mentioned here. Now, he says, to thy strong bidding task, I am ready to obey all your task. Ariel and all his qualities. So, he is submissive. Ariel is submissive. He is using a slavish language. He says that I am ready to obey you. He is ready to be, readily he is a subject of, happily he is a subject of Prospero. So his submissive, subjugated character is being very clearly depicted by this dialogue. He is happy and he affirms the greatness of Prospero. Prospero, hast thou, spirit, performed to point the tempest that I bade thee? Did you do all the work all the job that I had given you? Now see how Ariel answers it. To every article, perfectly I have done the task that you assigned me. And then he is going on to describe how he did it. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now in the waist, the deck, in every cabin, I flamed amazement. He entered the ship in the form of a flame. Now, you must remember, Ariel can take any form. He can change forms. And he obeys Prospero. Whatever Prospero asks him to do, he does it. And here, you can see Prospero is doing all the magic through Ariel. It is Ariel who helps him reach his goal. Prospero, Ariel is helpful to Prospero. So through Ariel, Prospero is doing all his magic. Now see what he did. He took the form of a flame. And only Prospero can see him. Nobody else can see him. Only Prospero can see him. Ariel, I boarded the king's ship. He took the form of a flame and he took the form of a flame and he burned here, there, everywhere. At the beak, at the waist of the ship, at the deck, here, there, everywhere. Then what did he do? Sometimes he divided himself. The flames, he divided himself. He became many flames. So that is also a quality that Ariel can do. Ariel can divide himself, appear at different places at the same time. On the topmast, the yards, the bowsprit would I flame distinctly. So I used to burn at different places at the same time as flame. Then meet and join. Then what did all the flames mated and joined and became a single flame. Would I flame distinct? Then meet and join. Jove's lightnings. Jove is Jupiter, the god Jupiter, the god of gods, Jupiter, and the thunder and the lightning is supposed to be under the control of Jupiter. So the lightning of Jove's lightning, the percussors. Percussors means that which comes before. That which comes before what? That which comes before thunder. It's first the lightning comes and then we hear the rumbling of the thunder. Oh, the dreadful thunderclaps before the thunder. More momentary and sight outrunning were not. The way I made divided myself, formed myself as a flame, joined, separated, and do all those things, it was more frightening than the lightning and the thunder that was happening. And sight outrung the fire and cracks of sulphurous roaring, the most mighty Neptune seemed to besiege and make his bold waves tremble, yet his dread trident shake. So trident means the trishul. Trishul is the weapon of Neptune. Neptune is the god of the sea. Even that trident seemed to shake with the waves that were rising up and falling down, the thunder, lightning. So you can imagine how the condition will be. The way Boson was explaining, Boson and other the travelers were very much upset in the first scene. All this was caused by Ariel. Ariel was enjoying what he was doing, creating the tempest and seeing the fear of the passengers. He was just enjoying. Prospero, my brave spirit, who was so firm, so constant, that this coil would not infect his reason. So he was, this madness, all these madness did not affect your focus. You did your work very well. See the way Prospero addresses Ariel very gently, like a son, like as if though patting at the back. They are having a very good relationship. They are happy. Prospero is happy for the work Ariel has done. Ariel is happy for doing work for the Prospero. Ariel, not a soul but felt a fever of the mad and played same tricks of desperation. All of them were desperate. Every one of them were affected by this madness. All but mariners plunged in the foaming brine. So everybody except the mariners. So where are the all but? Means everybody else except, but here means except the mariners. Where are the mariners? Mariners are still in the ship. All the others, other than the mariners, they jumped into the brine means salt water. That means sea. All of them jumped into the foaming brine and quit the vessel. All of them left the vessel. Then all afire with me, the king's son Ferdinand with hair upstaring, hairs rising. The king's son Ferdinand, then like reeds, not hair, it was like reeds, that the hair was like reeds, it was not like hair, was the first man that leaped and cried, hell is empty, all the devils are here. Naragati pisajikalonnu illa. Sagala Chaitamarum ivideyundu. Hell is empty, all the devils are here. Who said this? Ferdinand said this. And what did he do? Saying this, he jumped into the sea first. He was the first one to jump into the sea. Prospero, why? That's my spirit. But was not this nigh shore? Was it near the shore? All these happened near the shore. Why? Prospero wants to assure that all these people who jump into the sea will easily reach the island, will easily swim and reach the island. Close by, my master, don't worry, it was close to the shore. Prospero, but are they, Ariel, safe? Are all of them safe? Ariel, not a hair perished. Prospero assures Miranda earlier that not even a hair of them will be disturbed. The same thing he says, not a hair perished. On their sustaining garments, not a blemish. There isn't even a small, slight there's a slight rash, or there is no problem even with their garments. Their garments are as fresh, but fresher than before. It looks little more fresh than when they wore it. And as thou badest me, in troops I have dispersed them. As I have ordered me, I have dispersed them in groups about the isle, in the island. The king's son have I landed by himself. King's son is alone. Ferdinand is alone in one part of the island, whom I left cooling of the air with sighs. He was sitting there. He was sad. Why was he sad? He was sad because all his father, his relatives, all the others are dead, according to him. According to Ferdinand, the only survivor is Ferdinand. All the others are dead. In an odd angle of the island, sitting his arms with the sad note. He was sitting sadly in one corner of the island. Prospero, of the king's ship? The mariners say, how hast thou disposed and all the rest of the fleet? What about the king's ship? And what about the sailors? What did you do with them? Safely in harbor. So where is the king's ship? King's ship is safely in the harbor. And now where is that harbor? Thou couldst, is the king's ship in the deep nook where once thou callst me up at midnight to fetch dew from the still vexed Bermudas. There she is hid. So it is in Bermuda's Triangle. You must have heard a lot about Bermuda's Triangle. Otherwise, you just look into the net, you will hear. It's a place where the ships, passengers, airplanes, everything disappears. It has a very high magnetic power that it attracts everything to it and then it disappears. So actually the point is, during those times, when Shakespeare was writing this play, during those times a ship had returned after 7 years. A ship had gone for a voyage. It did not return for a long time and there was no news about them. Everybody thought it was lost. But these people got into this Bermudas. There are people who escaped from this Bermudas Triangle also. So these people escaped from this Bermudas Triangle and returned after 7 years. So maybe Shakespeare was inspired by this incident. Now he says that in that nook, in that Bermudas, in that island, from where you asked me to take some magical things one midnight, there I have kept this ship safely. The mariners all under hatches stowed, who with a charm joined to their suffered labor. They were tired. They were trying the whole day. They were trying very hard to save the ship. Now they were tired, and along with it, my magic also. I have done my magic and made them sleep. They are all sleeping under the hatch. I have left asleep, and for the rest of the fleet, for the others, which I dispersed, they all have met again. I have dispersed them in the island. They have formed groups and they have met and are upon the Mediterranean. Sorry. And for the rest of the fleet, which I dispersed, means this. There were many ships coming from after the wedding. All of them were headed to Naples. But what Ariel did was, Ariel separated the king and the royal passengers, where these enemies of Prospero were there, that ship, from the rest of the ship. So there were all the other ships, even though they were dispersed because of the thunder, lightning and tempest, all of them have met each other and all of them are moving towards Naples, thinking, oh, we lost the king, we lost the prince, we lost everybody. With sadness, they were moving towards Naples. Are upon the Mediterranean floor, bound sadly home for Naples, supposing that they saw the king's ship wrecked and his great person perish. They have thought that king's ship is Shipwreck, and the king has died. Prospero, Ariel, thy charge exactly is performed, but there's more work. What is the time of the day? So Prospero is asking for the time and telling, okay, you have done your work, but again there is more work to do. Ariel, past the mid-season, that is, past the noon, 12 o'clock noon is over, past the mid-season. Prospero, at least two glasses. Two glasses means after the 12 o'clock, one glass is 1 hour. Two glasses, 2 hours have passed after the noon. The time twixt 6 and now must by us both the spend most preciously. Now we have one more hour between that time, that is within 3 hours, we have to spend very carefully. Each minute we have to plan well so that we don't waste any time. Ariel becomes little bold. Okay, I have done all my work. Happy. Prospero has appreciated me. So Ariel says, is there more toil? Is there more work? Since thou dost give me pains, let me remember thee, let me remind thee what thou promised, which is not yet performed me. Let me remind you. You had promised something to me. You have not given me what you promised. Let me remind you. How now, moody? What thou canst demand? What are you demanding? Why have you become suddenly moody? Ariel, my liberty, my freedom. So Ariel has become bold enough to ask for freedom. Why Ariel has become bold enough? Because he heard the appreciation of Prospero. So he is bold enough now and he is asking for his freedom. Prospero, before the time be out, no more. Huh? I had told you, it is true that I told you that I will give you freedom. But now you are asking me before the time? No. Ariel is still in good mood. He says, I prithee, I request you, remember, I have done thee worthy service. Ariel is listing out the work that he has done for Prospero. I have done thee worthy service. I have done good service for you. Told thee no lies. Second point, I have never lied to you. Made thee no mistakes. I have never made a mistake in the work that you asked me to do. Served without grudge or grumbling. I served you without any grudge, without grumbling. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year. You promised me, if I do all the things like this, you will reduce a full year of my slavery towards you or of my service towards you. So, Ariel is now very bold enough to ask for his liberty. Prospero, dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee? You forgetting how I freed you? Well, from what a pathetic condition that I freed you? Prospero is reminding Ariel of his history. When Miranda spoke to, or in a slight way, questioned Prospero of his action, told him, why you're doing like this? Please save those souls. Then Prospero told history to Miranda so that to justify. So why did Prospero evoke the history to Miranda? So that he can justify his action. To justify his actions, he said the history to Miranda. Now here Prospero is again bringing up the history of Ariel. To why? To control Ariel. To still keep Ariel under his power. He says, do you forget from what a pathetic condition I saved you? No. Ariel suddenly remembers. Prospero, thou dost and think it's much to tread the ooze of the salt deep. You think it is difficult to go into the sea, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to run along. Means he is telling about the work that Ariel did. Do you think all those work is difficult? To run with the wind, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost? Do you find it difficult to work for me? Ariel, I do not, sir. No, sir. It is like When we ask to your elders, maybe teachers, maybe parents, sometimes we question and they say, മറന്നു പോയാ ഇത് ഇന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, oh, no, we haven't forgotten. I do not, sir. I'm not questioning you. Prospero, thou liest, malignant thing. Note this. Later, Prospero uses the same address to Caliban. Malignant thing. Now, Prospero is very angry. When he is angry, he uses very abusive language. Malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax? So, Prospero is speaking about Sycorax, a witch Sycorax, and Prospero calls her an evil witch, foul witch Sycorax. So, we hear about Sycorax through Prospero. Through Prospero, we are coming to know about Sycorax, and Prospero presents Sycorax as an evil person, who with age and envy was grown into a hoop. Hoop means when people become old, their backbone, the jelly, the jelly thing. I am not so good in biology. Whatever is that jelly thing between those bones in the spinal cord, it becomes worn out, and people tend to bend. So she was like a hoop. Hoop means a round thing. She was bent with envy and age. Hast thou forgotten her? No, sir. Ariel says, no, sir, I haven't forgotten Sycorax. Prospero, thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me. So you remember her. Where was she born? Please tell me. Okay. Thank you. We continue in the next class.